Hello. Yes, the Devil Flyer magazine only available on Fun My Comic. You can get the ash can right now on Indiegogo. I just like saying that. Uh, Apple. Okay, Apple, Apple. Middle of the week. Happy middle of the week. Hello. Uh, it is indeed the 4 o'clock shadow. Once again, middle of the week. We are here and we have the gloves off. Kill 'em dead. But let's talk about it. Episode 1007. 7 just got done watching several episodes of Daniel Boone, the very first season. Alexander Scorby. You might not know about Alexander Scorby. Oh, sneaking in early, eh? Yeah, 5 minutes early. We got to make up for those time I was late, right? Sooner we get going, the sooner we'll be done. I have some turkey meat. I had to thaw it out, otherwise it would already be done. To put in my spaghetti, uh, which is about halfway made. So, but I had to I had to thaw the turkey meat out. That was a late addition. I did, you know, had to go run an errand for mother. Yes, happy hump day to you. Get her something at the pharmacy, and I got some turkey meat. What else I get? I got some chicken strips for Abby treats. What else I get? Not much. Not much. That's about it, I guess. There might have been one other item. I can't remember, but yeah, I got out early and did that. It will be torrential rains here tomorrow. Right now, it's not too bad, but tomorrow it'll be all wet and muddy and all that good stuff. So, uh, been doing a lot of thinking about um, what's coming up on the agenda, and what I have to get done now that we have a hard date for a moment makeover of the campaign, which will be March 8th over on Red Valkyrie again, and all the things that need to be made up and produced. The 9 card set, which will have 18 characters. They'll be double side printed like the first trading cards I did were, except they'll have artwork trading card characters on both sides. Hello, Scarlett. It's good to see you. Good to see you. And let you see me uh, just for a second. Sometimes it's easier just to be off camera uh, and just talk, kind of like online radio. But I don't mind being on camera. I really don't. Maybe it'd be more enjoyable for you. Hey, party. There's something about the human face. You want to see the expressions in it. If you haven't seen the Midnight Double Page spread that has Shadowhawk's expression on there and Crooked Painters and Lax, and you get to see Sunset, the Appaloosa horse that Midnight will be riding. That story's coming along. A little pink. That's something when I highlight it. Uh, I think it see their hand pink waving emoji. It spells it out. Of course, on YouTube, it'll show the hand and everything. I usually put that little Muppet with it because it's right next to the pink hand. That's an easy one. But done a little bit of writing. Not done a little bit of writing. Tried to rest. Didn't do topic lists last night. Didn't Could have been up for it, but I just stayed in bed. I, tried to get some rest, and hence I was up early today, and started some spaghetti, uh, and like I said, thawing meat's thawed out now. I've got 2 pounds of turkey meat. So I'll probably brown that all together. Probably won't use all of it today, but I mean, when you fix for one, big thing of spaghetti can last a while. A couple days if you really go after it. But you can always freeze some of it. I'm not into the big freezing and reconstituting and everything, but I I can do it if you can't eat it all in one sitting, and I certainly don't like I can't waste. I just can't. Um, Taxes were accepted. That's good. I didn't expect them not to be. I still have 2023 to get in. She asked me yesterday, "Do you want to make another appointment?" I was like, give me some time to think on that. I just can't hardly justify. It was kind of a have to thing because of the campaign. I guess it will because the campaign's not over with, and there'll be money. Hopefully, there'll be money coming in every year, from that, and that's a business. And I mean, it's just for my taxes are not that difficult to do. Maybe I'll talk to John. John's pretty savvy on that stuff. Um, he's done his taxes. Elsie's done his, but when it comes to they of course, oh, business, we got to charge you more, and it's like you're taking all my refund, but of course I'm paying for their expertise, and who knows the loopholes, that that they will be, my potentially, but it's looking like, yeah, it's not going to be a big thing. Fembat, it looks like I was going to get Apex on over here. So you did an artist stream today. I did indeed. Some of the things that I hadn't got to, some of the weird and strange things, I just wanted to share. We all need rest from time to time. That is correct. Fembat, I'm ready to rock. As she says there, 106 days to go on the campaign. He has to it. I noticed his thumbnail over on Fun My Comic is the Dan Lawless artwork, which is good. That draws people in. Okay. We got now set. He's redone the stretch goals at $5,000 free Apex Comics Universe Ashcan. Okay. 8 more pages added to the book at 4,000. Here Wallace's Fembat piece right there. Okay, so still at $3,000. It was at $5,000 at first. I'm glad he came down on that. But 3,000 free Fembat trading card art by Dan Law. A magnet here, which is cool. Looks like it's already cut out, and the free giant Fembat bookmark. Don't know if I've got one with the Red Moon or if it's different because he did a couple different versions of that. New artwork, Fembat artwork up on the new pages, up on the campaign. Maybe we can get him on here and talk about the changes in the what exactly he's done differently on the campaign here. I think he was mentioning that yesterday to Shadowhawk. But he may be working. Oi Savaloy. Hey, watching, looking at. Hey, what's he looking at? Oh, Fembat. Yeah, that ought to be fairly apparent. Been looking at ambitious pricing. Yeah, stretch goals. I mean, that was one thing that I had to temper down on my own campaign, and it was because of Justin. He's like, well, you want it to be a stretch goal. Yeah, but I don't want it to be unattainable, and it's not like the stretch goals are, that expensive to produce. I guess after you add everything up, and you have to send out to like 63 different backers, I suppose it gets to be a little bit, but I'm here to knock it out of the park. I myself, I can't speak for myself, not go broke, but look, man, I already know I'm not going to make my money back on this campaign. I know that already. All right. I've been working on this for 3 years, and I, you know, unless I was just surprised and somehow the farm just blew up and I made $30,000 or $40,000, I'm not going to make my money back, and 20,000, you know, um, might have made my money back if I got 20,000. Okay. Or 15,000. I don't know. I've sunk thousands of dollars, kind of like Dario was on here. I've sunk a lot of money into getting great artists, you know, having a larger book. There's still stuff to be done, but yeah, I mean, ambitious. You don't have to be that ambitious, especially in a downturned economy. But to each his own. Hey, Dr. Mask, Retro Elixir, it's good to see you, my friend. If you like to talk old comics, Dr. Elixir's one to, he's always posting some good stuff. Hey, Doctor, did you see this? This is something that that I bought last year, maybe the year before. It's been over Elsie's house for a while. It's not in that great a shape, but it's not in that, terrible a shape either. It could use a pressing just to, smooth everything out. It's a Dale, I think it's from 1966 magazine, Spy, Spoof, and Super Guys. Um, Never seen this before. Caught one on eBay. Might have did a search, and bought this copy. Got a little water damage there. I don't care. I mean, I'm just glad to know. This is knowing is half the battle. I did not previously know this was out there. Now I do. I've got an example of it and I know exactly what's in it. And actually, it's a pretty neat magazine, with a large section on Adam West and Burt Ward at the time, 1966. Sean Connery talking about James Bond, Our Man Flint, with James Coburn, in and out, sporting a beard and mustache. It's just a neat little magazine. Hey, Peter, aka Pad. It's got I Spy in there. Uh, Very young Bill Cosby. You can't be hung up with making your money back. Just get crazy about making a good product. Exactly. Exactly. My sentiments, Um, and hopefully the stretch goals drive sales. Yeah, I mean, you know, nice. I'm a Batman guy and I haven't seen it. Yeah, it's got Our Man from Uncle. It's got Matt Helm, which was Dean Martin. I totally forgot about that. That's pretty cool because the spy craze was going on. Don Knotts, Maxwell Smart. Would Get Smart. Michael Caine as Harry Palmer in British intelligence. Not exactly sure about that, but it's all about spies and spies, spoofs, and super guys. Um, Patrick McGowan's in there that did The Prisoner and other things, gals, gadgets, and gimmicks. So just pretty neat. Volume 1, number 1. Um, Copyright 1966 from Dale. So look it up. It's got a good section on Adam and Burt Ward and other stuff. I mean, it's actually a pretty nice magazine. Originally 35 cents. I'm not sure what I gave for it, actually. It wasn't too much, But knowing's half the battle on some of those obscure books to do searches with. And even if you know the title of it, if it's really obscure, if it's really hard to find, you may have to do a search. I know on eBay, I forget how you do it, but they used to have the option, and I used this to get that Kirby book. I put a search parameter for that title. So when someone listed one, boom, it blooped me, and let me know it was up there, and I bought it. After about a week, I was like, oh, don't let anybody buy it. It took me about a week to get the $307.50 exactly. Nice. I'm a Batman guy and I haven't seen it. Yeah. Um, are you just Batman fan in general? I guess you are. Or are you hot on Adam West or both? Adam West was a very nice guy. I got to meet him. That was almost like meeting Stanley. It was like neat little thing to happen. And I just wish I had didn't have somebody else there with me. My wife at the time, I guess she was my wife. It might have been just dating my second wife. Um, uh, After about 10 minutes, she was ready to go. Of course, I'd probably exhausted about everything that I wanted to say. I was definitely fanboy, uh, with Adam West. Try not to be. I was a little bit older than I was when I met Stan Lee. That's for sure. A little bit more mature. I didn't know that his uh, what am I trying to think of? Didn't know his former movies and TV shows and stuff a lot about his history, unfortunately. So I couldn't really talk about that. And I've seen some of the other things that he's done. Anybody wants a meeting, they just want to talk about him doing Batman, but he did more than that. And yes, that probably typecast him like it did George uh, Reeves playing Superman in the 50s. Uh, you're fortunate if you have one hit. You know, if you can have a series like that you're remembered for. And I would sure he felt very fortunate. Uh, but one thing I told him is that's one of the first shows that I ever watched was Batman 66 that I remember vividly. 89 Batman, still one of my favorites. 89 Batman? Okay. Does that mean when you were reading it in 1989? Watched 66 Batman as a kid on reruns. Yeah. I saw it originally when it came out. Um, yeah, seriously collecting Batman since 89. Okay. Um, who do you like? Berfogle was good, you know. Um, there's a bunch of different artists. I like the Marshall Rogers stuff with that goes back to the mid 70s. Here's an Alex Ross Tarna piece from Heavy Metal. I don't know if you've seen that, but that's pretty dope. He gets around and does such a variety of stuff. It's amazing. And that's cool. I mean, kind of like Omer Glitch, he draws a variety of type stuff. Um, I probably limit what I draw, and that's pretty sad. Now some characters that are not mine that I would love to do are not Marvel or not DC or any other. I mean, although DC's using the characters now and have in the past recently, and Gold Key did back in the day in the Bronze Age, are like Herculoids, and I've seen other artists do Herculoids and Space Ghost and other characters like that, Mytor, Dino Boy. I'd love, I wouldn't mind doing that. I haven't broke down and done that. I bought some artwork that depicts those characters. The Galaxy Trio, that's one that's long forgotten. Frankenstein Jr. Oh, 89 Keaton. Yeah. I've still got the official adaptation of the 89. I think I do too. I think I've had to get it because my original is gone. Love the Heavy Metal movie. Yeah. There was a sequel to that. I think people thought that it was not as good, but still I enjoyed both of them. Did you know that real life drunken master is one thing where you act drunk, but the kung fu movie moves or whatever it is. That's kind of That's pretty wild. Breaking news, Panama Canal news. I don't know if you saw this, but Chairman of the Federal Maritime Commission confirms Trump's statement that we are being ripped off by China, who has seized control of one of our country's greatest engineering feats. So we'll see what happens with that. I thought it was asinine at the time um, that we gave the Panama Canal back. You know, I think we sold it to them for $1. And I thought, Carter, what are you doing? That's a strategic point. I This is a bad move, and sure enough, now China has control of it. And that's been a long time coming. We should have had control of it all this time. You have an '89 Batman adaptation hardcover. I think it's from France. Wow. I've got one or two French comic books. Here's some from what back today? Let's see what year. Okay, December '79. That was good. I know this is small. Sorry, folks. I bought that Defenders. I bought that Fantastic Four, which was John Byrne when he was doing that run. Bought that X-Men. That was one of the first X-Men where he warps reality. The day reality went wild. In fact, I think that's maybe my second or third X-Men. It was an early one. There for a long time. But I was reading, really love this fantastic storyline where the Fantastic Four, everybody except Johnny Storm, are aging and they're dying of old age, and they have to go up against Terrax, and the Skrulls did it to them, and they reversed the right. I was reading Defenders here too, which this is the original Defenders in that issue. Don't remember much about that one, but I was reading Defenders at that time. But I love this storyline and still do. Where I thought it was so clever that when they got their youth back, when they reversed the ray, they said, "Oh, I think we're younger than when we first got our powers." So they kind of did a reset after about 15 years with the Fantastic Four, which I thought was really clever because you either have to ignore the age thing or you could embrace it like Eric Larson does on Savage Dragon, and for each year they age a year. But I really don't like that. Superman be an old man in 50 years, 25 years. Really had the Fantastic Four, awesome cover, yeah. And Terrax was, I think, a John Byrne design and co-creator of that, maybe, or just downright creator. I don't know. Probably the writer gets half the credit. I don't know who was writing Fantastic Four at that time, but I think Walt Simonson did a few things. I know he was on Fantastic Four later. I did not much like his Fantastic Four run. He did some good covers though early on, I think. But that story really stands out to me. You didn't know how it was going to resolve, and they were trying to find a cure or something. And at the last minute, when they're getting ready to die, they somehow get the ray in reverse. And I don't have those issues. I think I've got one out of that storyline that I got last year, and that was Byrne's first Fantastic Four issue. That's why I got it, because it's like that's kind of a key issue. I'd like to have it back and kind of look it over. I still haven't read it, but I think eventually these things are going to go up in price. And I know some of the Avengers that I had for cover price, 30, 35 cents, even 25 cents. Some of this stuff is, back issue status and well over 40 years. So it's, the one Avengers that I wanted in really nice kind of near mint shape or close to near mint Cost me like $56. Why? Because it was the first Scott Lang suited up Ant-Man in the Ant-Man movies. Drove it up. Nice George Perez cover. Don't know if he did the inside artwork or not, but I mean, it's, I wanted that one to display with the homage cover that uh, Devil Flyer and Hopper were on uh, from Starcross Comics. I believe they're called Starcross. Something lacking in today's mainstream comics, cleverness. Yeah. Well, I just like the idea that they kind of gave you a reset with their age. You know, Johnny started out in Fantastic Four as like a kid. He's probably grown to young adolescence, early 20s by this point. Maybe, if, who knows how. That's something that's not really talked about in comics that much, the aging of the characters. But I thought that was great, because Reed was older, Ben Grimm was older, and even though their looks, their persona doesn't change, they've been re-energized. They're more powerful than ever. Although I don't know after that storyline if they exhibited being more powerful. But certainly their age, they mentioned in the dialogue, and that always stuck with me how clever that was, that they reset their age. And they were like, perhaps we're even younger and more powerful than when we got our powers. So that's cool. That gives the characters extension on their lifespan. Thought that was very clever. I do endeavor to be clever. Here's some comics from 1971, and unfortunately, I wasn't collecting then, so I bought none of these at all. That's a cool Hulk with the Valkyrie picking Hulk up over her head. Shows the power of that character. Great, Amazing Spider-Man. Gil Kane during his run there cover. Believe that's Lucifer on the bottom there going up against Xavier. I think he's the one that caused him to lose the use of his legs, kind of making a reappearance in the X-Men. That looks like it might be a reprint cover with a reprinting the guts of an earlier, the X-Men did that for a while. It looks like a new cover though, but it looks like a riff on the old cover, sort of redone. Overmind there in Fantastic Four. I think John Buscema was doing it at that time, and Sal Buscema probably in the Avengers at this time. Good stuff. I'm not sure about the Daredevil. A few years back, you could make, 10 years, I don't know, maybe 15. I was picking up some vintage Daredevils for like $1 a piece on eBay. Uh, Daredevils have been one of those that have been undervalued for a while. This was a great cover, 149 of Invincible Iron Man. Probably Doctor Doom being the greatest, certainly the greatest Fantastic Four villain, in intellect and, pretty powerful. I mean, he's basically Iron Man in a suit. He's got his own suit, but it's his mind that makes him dangerous, and his machinations, his plans. And, he does dabble in the black arts. I always thought that was a great storyline of him. He had a purpose. He was trying to get his mother out of hell. She was maybe burned as a witch, killed as a witch or something, and they were kind of like gypsies. They were driven out of Latveria, which he now is over. And he went on a trek almost like Doctor Strange, where you go to the Tibet and you learn all these things. Monks saved Doctor Doom's life, fashioned a mask. He couldn't wait to put it on. He put it on red hot on his face. So if he's barely scarred before, he's really messed up now. looking like the Phantom of the Opera, maybe, um, or a grilled cheese sandwich. And Doctor Strange did for the use of his hands so that he could do surgery again. I think he traveled to Tibet and met the ancient one. So mysticism. I mean, there's two storylines that are similar. Doctor Strange and on their origins, and uh, Doctor Doom, and they're both doctors. Although I don't know why Doctor Doom is a doctor. Does he have a doctorate? I mean, is he? A, I mean, there's you can be called doctors for other things. I guess maybe that's when he and Reed and Ben all went to college, and maybe he got. I thought he got expelled though, you know, for his unlawful experiments. But and maybe that's just the title he's conferred upon his place, his self. Uh, 72 pages down. Okay, this I showed this 6 a.m. yesterday. I'll show it again. I think this is the same page. Might even be zoomed in. It looks like, but 6 a.m. working on that. Looks like a good. Again, I'm just blown away. His is 72 pages. Or 72 pages in. Is it going to be an 80 pager? Is it going to be 100 pagers? These long, big things. Wow. It's just everything I can do to do a 48 pager or maybe 50 something pages. Amazing. But to each his own, with the pulp. Tony Harris's birthday. Here's some of things that Tony Harris worked on in comics. Starman, remember the Zero issue, the beginning of tomorrow, the 0 hour storyline. Many different iterations of Starman in DC Comics. Many, at least a half a dozen probably. Starman #1. During the 90s, like this, and they kind of went for a painterly field. A lot of the artists did on their covers. Here's #2, #3. Preacher, and of course, some of those were like shadow boxes, which were pretty neat. They did that with Aquaman. They did that with the Doom Patrol. I read that Iron Man, Doctor Doom issue in Camelot over and over, and What If too. 250, I think. Yeah, they go back to King Arthur's time. It's kind of like a time travel. I mean, that's the thing about Doctor Doom and his time platform and stuff. He's always kind of been a link to time travel from his earliest stories. Looking at these from June of 1990, I'm not sure that I bought any of these, to tell you the truth. Maybe the Silver Surfer. I don't remember that cover. I really like that Iron Man cover. Looks like Rob Liefeld on, Cable and whatnot on that New Mutants. But I don't think I bought any of these. Maybe the Silver Surfer. Maybe. I do have that Iron Man now. I don't know who he's going up against, if that's Crimson Dynamo in a new suit or what, but I do kind of like that. It's kind of wonky. I think Tom Morgan might have been drawing it at that time, or doing covers anyway. I think that's Tom Morgan. Here's a Batman. You like Batman? Sam Keith Batman in black and white. Takes you a minute to look at it, see what's going on. There's so much going on there. Yeah, I was reading Iron Man around that time. Definitely Dr. Mask. I thought it was funny. I went into a couple nights ago to Anthony Romano's chat and said hi, and they were like, "Why are we talking about this?" Because they was talking about some drama type stuff or something going on, whatever, and EFAPing some stuff or whatever, and said, don't you send Rex the link and talk about comics? I thought that, okay, that's cool. Got the Wolverine, New Mutants, and Spidey out of that group. Nice, yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know what it was. I mean, that's just didn't get many of those. Here's Daredevil 119 through 96. I think this was winding down the Frank Miller era to go into the like the Klaus Janson and others. It's I did not take note of, I mean, I was taking note of what Frank Miller was doing. I bought an issue here or there, like the one that had Gladiator in it. Thought that was cool. That might even I think that issue even introduced me to that villain. I didn't realize he went back way, in the early days of Iron Man and other characters. I didn't realize, buzz saws on your wrist. I can only think of like Whirlwind. A Gladiator and Whirlwind need to get into it and, have a buzzsaw battle. Just saying. And Whirlwind knock him around a little bit with his wind powers. But yeah, it's after Miller left Daredevil, I started reading it. I think that first in the top left hand corner is Frank Miller, but this is like the end of his run, and then we're Klaus Janson that was inking. Miller kind of took over for a little while, and I think this is primarily his stuff. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, this is about the time I started getting it when Miller was leaving the book. Started, I was a Johnny come lately on the Daredevils. Don't ask me why. I mean, I did buy a few, but everybody's like, "Oh, Frank Miller! Oh my God!" And recently, I noticed something. I probably come across it. I'm trying to remember who gave him the endorsement. He was saying that Frank Miller was probably the greatest artist to come, that Rob Liefeld. He says if someone asks you who the most influential, most impactful, most consequential comic book creator of the past 50 years is, it's this man. It's Frank Miller. He's turned 68 yesterday, and this was posted on the 28th. So I guess the 27th was Frank Miller's 68th birthday. He's looking old for his age to be 68 and looking, and he's had some, hard living. I don't know. And his work on Batman and Daredevil is what you see reflected on screen from talents like Christopher Nolan and Matt Reeves. His Wolverine work was depicted by James Mangold. Every Daredevil and every Batman work produced since he transformed them in the 80s reflects his signature style and aesthetic. The pick is from 1994 when I drove up to Golden Apple in New York. That's where that is, to meet him. Sin City 300 and Ronin are other magnificent examples of his work. I can't think of anyone who has left a more indelible mark since Jack Kirby. I don't know. What do you think about that? Has Frank Miller made that big an impact? Certainly he has, you know, made an impact in comics. I love Miller and Janson's Daredevil. Something I need to reread. I've got all the Frank Miller stuff in, and I met Frank Miller in 85 and 86, got his autograph. He signed it, Frank Miller, that first year. The next time it was like FM, Frank Miller. So somewhere in between that is when he changed his signature just to putting FM. And now it's, you know, you can't even tell it's an FM. It's just like, one of those squiggles. But back up there in that red and black behind that Please Funko Pez, which is about right here, right in here, are I think 5 volumes in paperback, and that they weren't cheap. They were like $150. And it's all the Frank Miller, and that's only books that reprinted that stuff. All the Daredevil Essentials hadn't made it up there that far to that numbering. I don't even know that they ever did, but they released that one trade paperback, and they probably re-released that stuff, probably even in artist edition or like omnibus now. But at the time, this was the only way to get that stuff, and I thought, I don't need to ignore it. It is a big part of comics history, even though I don't think it's the latest and greatest and blah, blah, blah. And I did appreciate it at the time, but I didn't go gaga like a lot of people. There were other things that I wanted to get besides the Daredevil stuff. Now, an issue here, an issue there. And then I picked up some stuff on back issues, I know, and probably had a pretty good showing of that run by Frank Miller and Klaus Janson. That DD run is one of my favorites on the title. He is my top 10 for sure. Number one, no. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he would. He definitely. I don't know. When you think of the different artists, Marshall Rogers, I really like his stuff. Michael Plug, I really like his stuff. Art Adams, I really like his stuff. Depending on what it is, Walt Simonson, and like the earlier stuff with Mike Mignola, and Neil Adams, Frank Frazetta. How do you pick a top 10? I would rather see some Jim Steranko. He's done a lot of that black and white and silhouette. My thing is, it's like, wow, okay, he kind of did that more than anyone, and he gets credit almost in a lot of people's minds for inventing it. And I can show you examples of a decade earlier where Jim Starlin was doing that, and other artists, Burnt Hogarth, or you name it. Frank Miller didn't invent this stuff. And some of his stuff is poor indeed. It's bare minimum, which bare minimum's cool if you can do it, like Alex Toth and things like that, a minimalistic type stuff. But his is bare minimum cartooning. Some of the like Batman 3 and stuff like that, the Talking Heads, and some might say, wow, that's the Jackson Pollock of storytelling. Now, it is about the story at the time, because it sure ain't about the art. Let's be frank about it. Whoa, see what I did there? Anyway, sharpest tack. I think they are right about Miller's impact, but people forget Dark Knight was supposed to be like an alternate reality. Where do you get that from? Was it? Was it supposed to be? Is that what they said at the time? I can't remember. When he was older, Batman toward the end of his career, I know, sort of older and grizzled and whatnot. We were talking porcelains. I did have the Batman and Robin, the female Robin with her little slingshot. I did have that porcelain set at one time. I did sell it on eBay. Bernie. Yeah, Bernie. Didn't even mention Bernie Wrightson. He's a big one. Alternate reality. A lot of people start thinking it was what Batman should be. Yeah. Bob Kane, rest in peace, can attest to the fact that good marketing trumps good talent. Yeah. Well, Bob Kane was his own, type entity. He definitely had, had Jerry, and he had a lot of help in developing Batman, a lot of help, to the point where they're like, yeah, Bob Kane had very little. The very first 2 years, he says in his own words, is kind of the seminal Bob Kane artwork, and that's nothing to crow about. It's feasible. The first couple years, you can read most of that in the Batman Chronicles, which I thought cool. They did Superman Chronicles too. I love this because it's so cheap. It's in color, but it's your old stock. Not, ooh, yeah, you get that sniff on there too. Um, you got February, you got Detective Comics 36, 37, 38 in this. Batman #1 reprinted. Legend of Batman, who he is and how he came to be. Bill Finger, see, he was big. I'm glad to see Bill Finger and Jerry Robertson getting a lot of the, things. Something on here on the Joker, the Professor, and Hugo Strange, and the monsters, the cat, Joker Returns. I don't know where those stories are from, but they, for just reading pleasure, and you get the whether it had Batman on there or not. Of course, you got him up here in the bullet, uh, but it has the covers and everything on there. These are great. Yeah, my whole comic book shop smelled like this when I had it in '82 and '83. When you came in, that's all you did smell was that Aykroyd, because that's what most of the comics were from. And from Batman #1, losing his parents, and look at that Joker, which looks pretty sinister. But yeah, it's kind of disingenuous. I'll just slap Bob Kane on it. Hey, Homer. It wasn't all about Bob Kane, and it shouldn't be because he doesn't deserve all the credit for developing Batman at all. I'm when it comes to the direct market, you had Brian Bolland and British artists that I'd never seen um, doing Camelot 3000. Love his Wonder Woman covers and just anything he does. His Flash covers. He's done so many. There's some artists, yes, you want to see their sequential stuff, but there's some you just wish that they would be like Neil Adams was in the day. He did a lot of covers. Now he did some insides too. Don't get me wrong, but he did a lot of covers. He's one that his style kind of changed, which I didn't much care for his stuff in continuity comics. I got a bunch of it. I liked his Miss Mystic. Again, late books, they really hurt that book, just like the early Image stuff. You got to ship on time. What Batman comic book is that? That's Batman Chronicles Volume 1. There is a Superman Volume 1. I don't know if they came out with a number 2. Uh, I like the images within the, back there muted. That's very cool. And it's got, okay, Detective Comic 27 through 38 and Batman #1 in here. And the Superman one has, I'm sure, Action Comics, and let's see what it's got. It's got Action Comics 1 through 13. Wow. New York's World's Fair comics, which was 1939, 1940 sort of giveaway. And on the cover, I don't know about in the inside, it was probably black and white. I don't know. But on the cover, Superman had blonde hair. First appearance of the original Sandman and Superman #1 in this. So very cool stuff. You know, I like this. These are not so precious of books because they are on newsprint. Look at those yellow boots on Superman. Coloring. People people didn't pay that much attention to that continuity type stuff because he's definitely got red boots and other stuff uh, and other issues. But for some reason, they got colored yellow there. Love the classic Clark Kent though, with the fedora and the round specs, and you know, it's got a section back here about the creators. These are neat because they're what were these? 14.99. Good trade paperback. You're getting pretty good read here. This tells me right here I bought it for $5 right there. At one of my local comic book shops. That's what they would do. They would. So this one I got for $5, which I think I might have had these originally and lost them. This one don't know about. It's not marked, but might have paid $14.99 for it. It is spot glossed, so this stands out against this. You know, very nice set of books. If they did any more of those, are those new releases, reprints? No, they're not. They're from they quite a ways back. Probably out of print now. Don't know if they've reissued them. This is first printing on the Batman. Printed in Canada. Where's the year? I'm thinking, okay, 2005. 2005 on the Batman. I imagine the Superman's about that same time period when they came out with these. But a good way to enjoy, Action Comics #1. Jerry Siegel, born 1914. Even gives the ages there. 2012 on this one, I think. So later than the Batman. Don't know why. Don't know why. But something that I noticed on this, old DC logo on this, 2005. By the time this one came out, with whatever date I said, new logo. So this one much later. I would have expected them to come about the same time, but apparently not. PBR in the house. Hey, PBR. Yeah, I like some Brian Boland, whatever his name is. Definitely like it. Here's some comics from 1993. Like the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I do have this one because it has Wolverine's Antium skeleton there. I think that's what it's supposed to be. It's kind of like holographically done. It's raised. I would have bought this Avenger. The Daredevil is really stands out. The sparseness of it and the little red figure falling off the large building there, which looks like the Chrysler building. He just did a cover for Tin Soldier. Scott McDaniel, who did a lot of Batwing, but he did an Elektra 2-page issue in the early '90s, around '93. He was working on Daredevil. I was unaware of his stuff at that time, but I got a lot of his stuff in trade paperbacks of Nightwing. It really made me a Nightwing type one. I mean, I love his art, you know. Can't say that the stories, Chuck Dixon might have even wrote some of those. I think he did. Um, Bullet logo was superior. Yeah, they brought back the old logo. That X-Men Survival Guide also came in a board game. Wow. Here's one you don't see very often. I'm not sure that I've seen this outside of a big volume. Brave and the Bold, early Brave and the Bold with Viking Prince, Joe Kubert cover. I sent this to Ryan James. Anything with an octopus on it. Head, tentacle, because he is Octagon Comics. I thought he might get a kick out of it, and he probably hasn't seen an old vintage early '60s book like that before. Billy Tucci says She Gatecrasher Kickstarter total returns over $168,000. New stretch goal. Ran original character design trading card I drew back in 1991. Great lost piece of she story. Say that 10 times. She story. And one great collector's item. Thanks again, all, and please pledge share. So over there on Kickstarter, I'll show you that old card work that goes all the way back to the early 90s. It's like she may have stolen some of that outfit. And with that red dot on there, she almost looks like Domino. Stole some of that red outfit from Vampirella. Over there on Kickstarter right now. Variant cover by Dan Pleagle for Fiendish 2. If you haven't seen it, here is that, the great Dan Pleagle. He's done work with Rini before. Well, he's got a lot jam-packed in there. Avengers 152 from October 1976. This was one of the first ones. I started collecting in issue 147. This is 152. So Jack Kirby cover, though. Great storyline where Wonder Man in his old villainous costume of which I didn't mind this. I thought it was cool. This introduced me to Wonder Man. I love the claws, on the character. Upside down cross on him, into voodoo. I think they went to New Orleans in this storyline. But I love the claws. That's kind of what I had in mind, almost like he did on his run on, although they were not talons like this, they were like chisels. They look chisel points on the end of the gloves. For Black Panther on his run on Black Panther. Always, I mean, I like this. I really do. I do like this. And the more and more, as time goes by, I like it even more because it's Jack Kirby. But at the time, I was probably like, oh man, that's a neat cover. Yeah, but it's not George Perez. That's what I was thinking. And really, it's kind of neat that it is Jack Kirby. You got the best of both worlds, and you open it up and you got George Perez artwork. So I got the best of both worlds. But if I'd had my druther as a kid, Jack Kirby wouldn't have done any of those covers because I really did that. Perez's stuff at that time just got me into comics. Trump goes on total warpath, launches massive purge against deep state operations, and literally declares war against Mexican drug cartels who kill hundreds of thousands of Americans with fentanyl every year. Absolutely. Hence the title today. The gloves are off, and yeah, we're killing them dead. I mean, he's got the right under the border to declare war on them basically without an act of Congress, and that's what he's doing. And he doesn't need to mess around with these criminals. They've retaliated against the border and people, and they've and stuff, and they've gotten taken some hits of late, and that needs to come to a stop. I'm very adamant on this. Rini says, because I am hopelessly perfectionist, I recolored my wraparound cover for Carnal the Barbarian. That's Hyper Wizard's project, and she did indeed recolor it. Too bad I don't have the other to show. I think she went dead with the blue. Hyper Wizard was on here not too long ago talking about that project. Year of the Snake this year. GenuineComics.com. I'll drop the link for that in the chat if you want to check it out. Cool looking stuff. You got a backlog of comics and stuff you can get over there. Where am I? There we go. Just look at those characters there. It's got like a character for every occasion. Been working on his universe a while. Really cool. American Bliss over there for sale. Art books, comic books, prints, original art. Perfect 10, #1. Dream Girl, Sleeper Agent, #1. That one looks really interesting. So did Power Trip, #1. Ajax Awakening. You got Heroes and Villains. Arting Heroes and Villains. Just different prints, different original artwork up for sale. Just good stuff, man. Good characters. Check that out at GenuineComics.com. Dog hacking over here. Hope you're all feeling powerful, she says. This is Power Girl cosplayer. You gotta have that booby window for her. Sweet. Looks a lot like the character. Live action movies, though, I mean, they're hard to do, especially with your traditional. It may look great in the comic books, but you really suit somebody up in superhero outfits, and yeah, they look a little goofy, I think. They never look as good as stylized in the comics. But keep trying. Looks good. Not complaining. Tom Selleck's birthday. I just watched him in Quigley Down Under. That was in a 4 movie box set. 80 years old. Tom Selleck turns 80. Victor Mature, of course, he's already passed away. It's his birthday, 1913. He was in Samson and Delilah, 1 Million BC, The Robe. I remember him that. I just watched him in My Darling Clementine, The Egyptian, Demetrius and the Gladiators. I've got that too. Kiss of Death. I Wake Up Screaming, all kinds of stuff. Very cool. Catherine Ross, 85 years old today. She was in The Graduate. I remember her in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. She was in the Stepford Wives, Hellfighters. I think that Hellfighters was maybe John Wayne. Voyage of the Damned. Final Countdown. All kinds of Donnie Darko. I did hear the bloop. Who we got here? We got an Omer Glick in that. Hey, Omer.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you, sir.
I'm good. What you got on the drawing desk there?
Oh, it's a little sketchbook. And it's the sketchbook that has, I don't know, it's got some sketches in here. Old stuff.
How old?
Well, this is 2019, 2020. Let's see here.
Oh, okay.
This one was done.
W.C. Fields, born in 1818, a vaudeville performer. He remembered for his films It's a Gift, 1934, My Little Chickadee, 1940, and Never Give a Sucker an Even Break, 1941. He also did The Dentist, which was a short. Very cool. Passed in 1946 at age 66. Gastric hemorrhage. It doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Oh, yes, a little chickadee. Have you ever
Jake
watched
Lee,
any W.C. Fields comedies?
like Carrie.
Oh,
No, I don't recall any before my time, man.
big whiskey nose. I wouldn't have known that was him with that regular nose like that. Very young in
Kind of
line.
looks a little bit like Bender.
There
Bender
he is
cat. What's his name?
with with Mae West. Looks a little like what? Who?
Uh, his younger picture looked like the guy who played Sherlock. He also played Doctor,
Hey, Billy.
the magic guy, Doctor Strange. Michael Bender, Craft, Bender. Is that his name, Michael? No, it's not.
Don't think
Yeah.
so.
Anyways,
Claudine Longit.
hi
I
Carrie, hi
guess that's
Billy.
how you say her name. I just watched her. She
Hey
had
PBR.
birthday 83 years old. Um, I just saw her in maybe on I guess maybe on Daniel Boone,
Ooh la la.
a western I watched recently. There, here she back in the day, and there with her former husband.
Here's a little Nightwing. You mentioned Nightwing earlier.
Well, I read some Robin and Nightwing, when they were in the New Teen Titans, but he was never one of my favorites.
No.
She was once married to Andy Williams, the singer, from 61 to 65 and 77. She was convicted for negligent homicide in the death, a gunshot of her boyfriend,
Oh wow.
Olympic skier Spider uh, Spitch, Savage, I guess. Here's Catherine Ross that I was talking about. Stacked deck, huh? Is that a trade paperback?
Yeah, you were talking about the Batman with the Joker and all that earlier. This is the
Yeah, from Batman #1. Wow, that's a thick baby.
it's a thicker.
Cumberbatch.
Yeah, there you go. Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch.
That's what I was thinking.
Cumberbatch.
Yeah, this has the Joker's first appearance. Yeah, I picked this book up because what's his name? Peter, aka DeLuca, aka Pat. He spotlighted this book, and I was like, oh man, I gotta get that one. It's got a bunch of stuff.
Hey, Eagle Rider.
So it's got I don't know, a bunch of stuff in here. There's a lot of Joker stuff. It's like a lot
At
of
the Hump Day show later tonight, I didn't, I opted out of going on with Jason and Luke last night, but and rested instead. That one right there, that painting right there, he really does have a Jack Nicholson look to him in that, I think.
Yeah, it was Dave McKean.
They did that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah
always thought
I
that
see the
that had a
Nicholson
little
in
bit
it.
of Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I see it in there.
Because he could do that wild looking face,
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Then, of course, sort of the cut high cheekbones like was in Batman 89.
Yeah. So, I think this is like the first Joker story.
That might have been a Brian Bolland head right there. Yeah, there it is.
Brian Bowen right here? Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell his stuff. It's so nice. I do missing hanging out with you, Rex. Well, you're always welcome.
Yeah, I was watching Topic
You know.
List last night, wondering when you were going to come on, and I didn't see you on there. So I think, did you stop by in the chat and say hello?
I didn't even do that. I rested. I stayed in bed.
Yeah, I try to crash.
Sometimes you just get tired,
Yeah.
and you're like, something's got to give. I mean, I knew we were doing the Hump Day show. I noticed you set up Hump Day shows all the way like this is going to be what, our 8th one, or is it 9th? tonight?
I think tonight is number 9 or 10. Let me check.
Yeah, you should be confused because you got them set up all the way down to 12. And I'm like, what the hell?
What the hell?
Remember the notification thing.
Yeah, well, I set up 3 like yesterday.
Okay.
And there was
I would
already
not set
like
up
2
more
or
than
3.
3 at a time because people won't get notified.
Mm.
Hey, Eagle.
Hey, I'm a mess right now, so you're getting the tabletop.
That's fine. What are you working on?
They're little double-sided ornament stuff with the diamond art where I add like details hanging from and cording and stuff when I'm done.
That's neat. I like that.
So it's a lot of beading.
Is that diamond artwork?
Mhm.
What they call diamond artwork?
Yeah.
I know that from Katie's Corners. Yeah, I was not aware of diamond artwork till she started doing it.
I've been doing
Looks
them
like
a
a lot of fun.
long time.
So you got the little instrument there, and it's got little wax on it, right? That picks up the beads. Yeah.
And a lot of
I know these things now. I'm smart.
it helps with my coordination, and which has always been kind of a struggle for me, especially with the ticks and stuff. So I've also found I tick a lot less when I'm actually hyper focused on something as opposed to just yammering. And by the way, hi Shadow. It was weird not seeing Shadow up here.
Yeah, his device doesn't work with Restream too well. Was that the creep? That almost looked like the creeper. Wow,
yeah.
that right there that's Marshall Rogers right there.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome. This cat right here.
Yeah,
that looks awesome. Yeah, the creeper's in here. There's one story with the creeper in here. There he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
I think it's is this Neil Adams or is it
no.
it's,
I was thinking Jim Aparo, but I really hadn't got a good look at it.
let's see. Ernie Chan?
Okay, Ernie Chan. I believe you.
No,
Everybody,
I just
see, I want to show you. Prove I'm right. What the hell?
No, I don't know who it is. Like I'm not that familiar with him, but I like his stuff. It looks good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a lot of Conan.
It looks good.
Yeah, that Joker there. Joker had his own title for a while. The Marshall Rogers stuff is a banger because he had Terry Austin inking him. Before he was even well known for inking John Byrne X-Men stuff. How many are you working on there, Eagle? Of those?
There's 8 I'm currently doing, and another set of 8 I'll be doing when it's done. I'm mostly done with these. I'm on the second side already, and I'm on the last few colors.
And you got a merch site to sell those things from?
I should set one up. I've been doing this stuff for years just because it
yeah.
helps control my tics, tremors, and spasms because it helps me hyper focus.
Hell yeah. Says Jose Garcia Lopez too. Yeah, he's great. Creeper, designed by Steve Ditko, originally made his first appearance in.
Hi, Eagle. Nice to meet you. I'm Omar.
Hello, I'm a crazy bitch. I mean,
you know what? I'm a crazy bitch too.
Crazy bitch. See?
Now, why didn't you show yourself on camera before? You're looking fine. I don't see. You say you look a mess. You're looking beautiful. What are you talking
the hair sound. I've got quite a bit of scratches right now. That's why I've been kind of anxious about cameras, but it's okay. Come here, kid. What do you want?
I was wondering, is that a sheet behind you, or what is that?
That is actually. This was my husband's Christmas gift, but the cats are using it right now. It's a thick, velveted wolf blanket.
Oh, okay.
I made them a little spot they can nap near me, so they can come in here and hide from the world.
Homer wants to show you his Rex Pez that he drew. He drew a Shadowhawk Pez too. Show her that one.
Well, I always knew Rex was a bit of a weirdo.
Call.
Okay, I like that one.
just not mine. I got it.
No, we'll go back to Rex real quick. Rex Pez.
Hi, girl.
Clean shaven. She just didn't recognize me.
Rex Pez. Shadow Pez.
I just like the other more because I'm more of an animal person.
Yeah. That tracks. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Are the scratches from your little monkeys crawling all over you?
It's basically I had a tick in the middle of the night that yanked the blanket that baby girl was sleeping on, and so she actually woke up in air and freaked out.
Ah.
It was a complete accident. There's nothing she did wrong. So, Ornery, you just want attention, don't you, girl? She's like, of course I do. Can I put you back down so I can work on the beading? Okay.
She said yes.
No, she did. She grabbed onto my dress when she said that.
Okay, she said no.
Come here, Ornery. Come here. Go sit with baby girl.
Somebody recommended, since I was doing working on westerns and I should look into Grizzly Adams. I'm like, yeah, with Dan Haggerty. I didn't think about Grizzly Adams. More frontiers like Daniel Boone is. She just likes me better, Rex. No biggie. Shadowhawk says.
I don't think the cat wants to get down and let me work.
Yeah, Abby gets up here and she doesn't even want me to do the show, so.
I know, Ornery. I know. Cratchity old girl. You're going to be 10 this year. You're getting old.
Any idea when Lego was first came out? It might surprise you.
Quite a while back, I thought, don't hiss at baby girl just because I set you down.
Yesterday was the anniversary of Lego bricks. Anybody know what year it came out?
Yeah.
Take a guess.
50s? 50s?
See you, Dr. Mass.
Have a good one.
Thanks for dropping by.
I thought it was more of one of the toys that came out of the I thought it came out. No, I thought it came out of like the Depression era when they were trying to come up with cheap toys.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd guess 30s.
No, Omer had it. It was 1958.
Ooh, I was close.
Now, is that the company
Yeah,
or the actual brick type?
The Lego company patented the design of its colorful interlocking plastic brick.
In 1958, and I just looked it up, and the first version that was released before the company existed was in 32.
Wow.
Oh, really?
So we're both correct. So we're both correct.
You remember Lincoln Logs, or did you ever see
Yes.
Lincoln Logs?
You want to see something, by the way, that was made out of a knockoff of Legos that I did recently?
Oh, is it a China knockoff? China.
No, this
Oh,
is
wow.
Japanese, and it's actually made from an anime company. Look at this.
Is that made out of individual bricks?
Yes.
Wow. That is cool.
Wow. That is cool. Is the sheath made out of bricks too?
Mm-hmm. It's all brick.
Wow. We'll put it back. Oh, yeah. Now take it back out.
Now
Now
put
put
it back in.
in.
Put it back in.
Isn't
Take
this
it
thing
back.
great?
And just
Isn't
go
this
in and
thing
out.
great?
Just
I
go
know.
in and out.
In and out.
Hey,
In
hey,
and out.
nice.
In and out. Just like my husband likes to. Anyway.
I'm just a
Oh,
stinker.
man.
Isn't that cool, though?
It is pretty awesome.
I just put this together a couple weeks ago, so I'm like still a little fascinated with it.
That is neat. Yeah, that you put that.
And the company that made
All
that has all
together.
kinds of different brick swords, including like mock-off of versions from like Demon Slayer anime and stuff like that you can build out
How
of bricks.
long did it take you to put that together, though?
About 6 hours.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, I'm very hyper
it
and I
looks
work pretty
right.
fast on stuff. So
Have you guys? This came out in '75, I think. I'm not sure I ever had one of these. A 7-Up candy bar. If I did, it's been so. You got mint, you got nougat, you got butterscotch, you got fudge, coconut, buttercream, and caramel, all in chocolate.
I never even heard of those.
Pearson's
Never even
milk
seen them.
chocolate 7 Up. Well, it probably came out before you were born. You know, it
Yeah.
probably ended making them. I can't believe those things were popular with that much variety in one bar, you know, because people are like, oh, I don't like butterscotch, or no, I'm not a big coconut fan.
Yeah, that's
Or,
the great part about boxes of
or
chocolates. You could rip out the ones you don't like and give them to somebody else.
yeah, I guess. I'm of the belief that women need a certain amount of chocolate.
Oh no, I absolutely
Yes.
agree with that. I have explained to people for years that chocolate is manna that was sent from heaven to prevent homicide every 28 days.
There you go.
Without chocolate, we are much more psychotic creatures.
You need that. You need that cocaine hit.
Here's some Frank Miller for you Frank Miller fans.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, 7 Up is a drink here as well, Carrie, but it used to be a that chocolate bar that was, you know, segmented with
I,
different flavors.
I
It's
still
pretty
think
wild.
that in my lifetime, one of my favorite ad campaigns I saw from any company was the whole "Make 7 Up Yours" campaign, where they're using it as basically a "fuck you" slur all the time.
Right. That's a good one.
I missed that campaign. That was fun.
Yeah. Where did that Sin City page come from, Rex? What Sin City book is that in? Did it say?
Mm,
It didn't say, but you know, Marv and Sin City was published in uh, Dark Horse Presents for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
Just one of, you know, three or four stories
Oh.
in each one of those.
Remember, I told you I was trying to track down all my old Superman comics that my brother's ex stole. My
All
husband
right.
got me one for a gift that's a start to replacing those. He got me from the old releases.
Uh huh. Oh wow. Oh, you must be flipped around. Wait a minute.
I am probably mirrored right now.
Hi, I unmarried you. I mean,
Mirrored.
I had the
mirrored you.
original omnibus, not the one that they've reprinted recently. I had the original, but my brother's ex stole it. But this is a start because I used to have the entire omnibus along with all the comics on their own, and I've been working on replacing them. I've got 8 of the comics now replaced, and a link that I'm working on dealing with somebody to get a replacement to the omnibus.
Nice.
I actually have that omnibus you're talking about. The Death of Superman omnibus.
Yeah,
I had ordered that, and they sent me the wrong thing. They sent me the All-Star Squadron late 80s 12-issue miniseries in an omnibus, which I had lost all those issues. I read them back in the day, but and I said, well, do you want me to return this? They said, no, that was our mistake. Keep it for free. So I got, for the price of that one Death of Superman, I got 2 omnibuses. How cool is that?
I had, because back when they first released the whole Death of Superman saga, when they released the final episode, they also released a hardbound omnibus with every episode from that one I just showed you all the way to the conclusion in a hardbound novelette. And they re-released that novelette a couple of years ago, and they did it the same fucking cover as the original. So I'm having trouble trying to track people that are trying to fraud and trying to claim it's their first edition, and it's not. And
that
so,
sucks.
but I had the first edition, and my brother had the first edition, and she stole both of them and sold them.
See, that's not cool. That's not cool at all.
She's lucky that at the time when she did this, I was almost 900 miles away in Job Corps and not where I could track her down. I'm just saying. But I've been trying to replace it ever since, and it is a pain to replace. I am willing to at least get the reprint of the omnibus to have a copy, but I want to track down my original, you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
I get it. You know, some of those originals are hard to replace. I was talking about an Avengers that I wanted to replace so that I could put it on display with another a book, another homage cover.
I still say the most perfect gritty moment of Superman, without making him lose his golden boy at the same time, was the moment in that series when when they managed to revive him and bring him back to life. And they didn't know this, and they're all talking about Doomsday trying to destroy Metropolis. And the next thing they hear is Metropolis. Scrolls over, you see him drop out of this thing, wet, sweating, stressed, muscles popping, looking up, going, "Over my dead body."
How did they revive him? I forget how they
I
revived him.
haven't read it in a long time. There was some machinery thing,
Okay.
but it was
Well,
complex.
there shortly after that, they split him into the red and blue. The
Mhm.
blue had lightning powers, and I'm not sure about what red had.
Oh,
But
I
they
mean,
did that back in the
yeah.
60s too. That's where that first came
Well,
from.
and
And they kind of
that
revived.
whole Death of Superman saga is where they brought out the whole Superboy crap. Anyways, he was a clone they made to try to replace him while he was dead.
Right. And really, I say that Superboy, out of all the spinoff titles, did better than by far and had more issues than any of those because of Tom Grumman's artwork primarily.
Well,
I
the
know
thing
I
that
enjoyed it.
Superboy had that the other similar copies off haven't had is they weren't trying to make him this distinct character that was taking somebody else's mantle. They tried to make him
Yeah.
that person at a younger age being restored. And so they were
Yeah.
never taking from Superman's mantle to play it with him. Unlike the crap they did with trying to create Supergirl, unlike the crap they did with trying to make, like, in Batman, all these female characters were just like thrown in accessories, relations to
Yeah.
the different characters and stuff. Unlike, even with She-Hulk, I always have a problem with the fact, oh, it's just a relative who has a similar thing happen. It's like,
Well,
can we have more
two of them are
you know?
2 out of 4 were bad guys, right? The Eradicator and that other one iteration. You had Steel, and he was kind of like a Superboy with a leather coat. He was hip, but I still say one reason that was, I'm sure, the writing, but it was also that Tom Grumman artwork, especially, and he did a lot of
Yeah.
the early issues.
But
Eventually, it changed hands, but
I
that's why I
absolutely am
enjoyed it.
convinced and adamant that moment of Superman coming back with the every detail popping, the muscles popping, the veins stressed, the emotion in his
Mhm.
eyes, the water dripping from his hair, and the literally just brought back to life to say that'll happen over my dead body was just
That was
perfect.
probably Dan Jurgens' artwork. Is that when he had the black suit with the silver
Oh
emblem?
God, no, that was before that. That was in the '90s. I just have to
Okay.
remember the details. But that was the end of that whole
Oh,
Death of Superman
well,
saga.
when are you talking? I thought you were talking Doomsday and when he was
Yeah,
killed.
that was the late. That was
Early
in the
90s.
'90s when all that was going on. I didn't
Right.
think that was the black costume yet. Again, it's been a long time
Well,
since I read through the whole series.
after they resurrected him, that's kind of what he wore for a little while. I did not like the long-haired Superman. Did you? The mullet?
The
No.
mullet. He had the mullet. Yeah.
That just never smacked to me as Superman with the long hair. Maybe it was the artist that was drawing it. You know, Superman might look good in
Yeah,
long
I
hair,
thought,
but
as far as I remembered, the whole black suit kind of went weird right after that whole Doomsday, but I'd have to verify a few things here. Again,
Yeah.
it's hard sometimes to remember all the little details when you haven't been able to read through it in 20 years.
yeah.
The Billy Ray
Yeah.
Cyrus mullet.
Is that when you lost the omnibus? Was like 20 years ago
Over.
when it was stolen? Over 20 years ago. Wow.
I was
Yeah.
in Job Corps, so I was 18 then, so it was actually about 23 years ago.
Oh, you're not that old.
I'm 41.
Okay. 41. A mere child.
Yeah.
You're barely older than my daughter. I was like in high school when you were born.
And
Just making that observation.
that doesn't change the fact I'm middle aged. That just means you're old.
Yeah. You're middle age if you're gonna live to be 82.
Okay.
God willing, right?
Yeah, especially with my
At
medical.
least
I
82.
mean,
82's young by today's standards.
mhm.
All right, let's not think about our mortality. It's depressing.
Yeah,
Old Omer.
I think about it enough, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Same here.
What do you think? If you could write for one female character in this bunch, what would it be? Um, Eagle. Would it be Supergirl? That's kind of her 70s outfit.
No,
No?
I'm not
Lois
100%
Lane?
sure. Lois Lane was at least her own character. She was whiny, but she was her own character.
Yeah, well, you can make her unwinding. I mean, because you're writing her. I would think the hippest one would be Black Canary. You know, at least
Yes,
she rides a motorcycle.
yes, Apex, a young lady, Black Canary too, also. But yes, young lady, 17 to 19 was Job Corps age for me. Well, right around the time I
Hey,
turned
Apex,
19.
What's up, Apex?
And that was the time I was doing
Apex.
things like carpentry and working with camp crews and stuff like that. So,
The
uh,
link is
I have middle age is technically supposed to be the middle point of your life. The average lifespan's still under 80. So, honestly, middle age is late 30s to late 40s.
Yeah, I thought the average lifespan was calculated around 76, 78.
Well, it depends. If
yeah.
you're male, it's still calculated as mid 70s. If you're female, it's about 80.
Hmm.
Yeah, that sucks.
We're supposed to outlive you guys. I don't know how the hell that's supposed to happen with my health. So, I mean, there's that.
Apex, I think I sent you the link over on X. I wanted you to come in here and talk about Fembat
I'm
since you've had some.
back and now.
Since I did send you the link, I don't know if you're working, but if you can come in here, I want to talk some Fembat because you have kind of redone your campaign, and you could tell us exactly, what you've
Ooh.
done to the campaign recently, if you've got time. Isn't middle age 45? Carrie says. If you plan on living to be 100, I guess it'd be 50. Or, of course, you can plan all you want. Apex says I'm old enough. Well, you can't turn the hands of
Turn back
time back.
time.
So
Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Turn back.
Please,
I could
please,
kick
please. I can't stand her.
if
Oh, dear
if
God.
I yeah, you know.
I know I'm terrible,
I,
right?
You weren't kidding about
No.
your intro.
Well,
I'm just-
Homer doesn't
just
know
kidding.
about that. You can be triggered by certain things, so he's really playing with fire
Please,
that he
please
doesn't
forgive
know
me.
about.
Please forgive me.
I am a crazy, crazy woman. Well, that and I've also figured out literal triggers, not sensitivity. Oh, I'm offended stuff. There's a lot of weird things that'll set off like my weird brain issues or ticks or other stuff. So it's like my friends have learned that they kind of just tiptoe around it.
Yeah, see, he doesn't know you were struck by lightning. Was that
Holy
last year or
crap.
the year before?
23.
You were struck by lightning.
23.
Good lord.
Yeah. Basically, what was discovered with this whole mess is that all this weird outbursts and spasms and stuff I'd had my whole life were actually, yes, a Tourette's. But when I got struck by lightning in the leg in June of 23, it made it all more intense. And I take more now than I used to. It screwed up my neurosystem some.
Wow.
So
Wow.
there's that whole mess, but it's okay because I got my artwork and I'm good.
I don't think I've ever met anybody who was struck by lightning. Aren't the odds like super slim to actually
Yeah,
get hit by lightning?
To be fair, that's basically my life. As if it's weird, rare, and shouldn't happen to somebody, it happens to me.
Oh, prayers for you. Prayers.
I look at it this way. Yeah, I got some really weird, horrible stuff that's happened to me. I also have had some really weird, insane, beautiful moments that almost nobody experiences. Things like getting to sit immersed with the eagles, sitting there chirping to me and stuff like that, interacting with wolves and other stuff. I mean,
That's
I
cool.
wouldn't
Yeah.
trade it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's like the day I got struck, I also recorded a video of a adolescent badger literally falling through a prairie dog hole.
Wow. That's
I was up in the mountains when I got struck.
You're the lightning rod. You're the only thing standing.
You would think so, but it literally hit the ground and struck me underneath my mom's carport.
Oh wow, wow. That's
There's your current Nightwing, Super Homo, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, why
Ooh.
does he look like he's getting ready to suck something? I mean,
Yeah. Or take it up the
I got some friends who
poop
would be
chute.
jealous of him for that.
poop chute. Yeah.
I've got a friend, God love him. He's one of the gayest men I've ever met, but
have you
he doesn't
seen
like
a
all the woke
harpy?
shit.
Have you seen a harpy eagle before?
Unfortunately, not, because they're not in this area. I see a
Right.
lot of golden and a lot of bald eagles. I do go and see like the bottlers and sea eagles and stuff like that at the zoos, but harpy eagles are only overseas, and with my medical, I can't travel. I've seen videos and pictures, but not personally.
Are they in South America?
I thought
You said they were overseas.
they might be South America. I try to remember which ones are which. 'Cause until I see images, I mix up names. So
I don't think I've seen this type of harpy eagle before. That's
yeah, you're right.
Pretty.
It's the Panama one, but they're not up here.
yeah.
And you have to travel internationally to see them, which doesn't really happen.
Yeah. That beak is almost blue in color. That's pretty wild.
I've seen what's also called a vulture eagle before, which is weird. My favorite eagles that I've seen anywhere and interacted with are only at zoos. They're an African eagle known as a bottler, and it literally looks like a painted songbird as an eagle with a red face. That's my favorite one.
Sounds very cool.
And also, while we talk, I am definitely getting these finished. Look at.
Good.
Yeah,
You need
finished.
to be.
Then I have to still add extra stuff to them and put them on cords and dangles and all that stuff. So it's a process. Whee! That was kind of once I got more ticky after the lightning, I kind of just quit going on most streams with most people anymore and just stuck to the few people I know can basically handle me like that more. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's like, I don't want to ruin everybody's streams. I just want to have fun.
Everybody's like, "Oh my god, this chick! What's up with her?" When they don't know your story, they're like, "Yeah, what's going on, man? What's happening?"
I'm crazy anyway, so. The thing is, it makes so much sense because I had so many weird things happen when I was on these streams for years before this, where literally just basically convinced myself I wasn't having as many issues as I was. I didn't realize how much I did tick, did spasm, did blurt out stuff I wasn't aware I said and stuff until I actually saw my face, my footage of me on streams played back to me. It's like, I don't remember any of those things. So
It's
okay.
Tourette's. You have Tourette's, right?
Yeah.
What do you think of that girl on TikTok who made like Tourette's, all those Tourette's videos, and now she's got a show?
Oh, that's an interesting one. And to answer Carrie real quick before I go into that airline, yes, I have. I actually do have some photos I've actually gotten of hummingbirds when they were stationary, even.
Oh wow, hummingbirds are cool. I love hummingbirds.
I need to put a hummingbird feeder out in the yard when I start doing my spring photos, but because I've got a whole bird feeder system I use for getting photos of birds, but I need a hummingbird station added to it. But the one that got the show I thought was Bailey Dupree. She's an interesting one because she is a definite legitimate case. She's been well documented for a long time. She's been public with the documentation, and the doctors and everything public with her for a long time, and she still gets harassed and fake claimed constantly. Sweet Anita gets harassed and fake claimed constantly. She's literally the one who made people realize there was an issue with these threat streamers and people. And it's unfortunately because most people don't understand it. They think you're either ticking constantly or you're fake. There's a lot of harassment that comes along with it. Because literally they will scroll every video, everything you've done. If you giggle uncomfortably at a tick, if you don't tick for a long period during something, if there's any number of things where they don't think this matches what they think Tourette's is, they'll just harass you nonstop and try to prove you're fake.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's wild.
Did you answer Carrie's question? Have you been up close to hummingbirds?
I did.
Okay.
Hi, Carrie. Thanks for those links, by the way. I haven't looked them, but I saw your messages. Thank you.
Let me see if I can find the photos to show Carrie. That was in, oh crap, when was that? That would have had to have been 22. So,
check out this old school cover, Homer. Gorilla cover.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Wow. That's real cool.
You're all too late. I've seen Negative Man. I've sent a Negative Man into outer space forever. That's because he's negative all the time.
mm-hmm.
Got to get rid of all the negative people.
I have to find these photos. This is what this is my gift because of how much I take pictures of things. I don't think I got that one sorted out yet.
Hey Rex, I was watching a playback of one of my streams or one of the streams, and I finally heard the whistle of the kettle running, the tea kettle running. I was like, oh my god, I finally hear it.
It's so, different. You know, it's different levels at different times. Here's that Captain Courage that Peter finished.
Yeah, I saw it earlier. I was on. He was on earlier in the morning. I was in the chat talking to him. Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. He did a good job on that.
I don't know if he ever finished the bog, but he was pretty close to finishing it.
Yeah, he's pretty close to finishing it.
Close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
He should have finished mine first. Just saying. Oh, here it is. He finished it. Here it is. Looks just like Bog.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's such a great job, Peter. It's so influenced by Bernie Wrightson, it looks like.
I'm not gonna be able to pull that up right now. One of the drives came unplugged, so I have to climb under the computer later. I got too many photos.
So how you been, Eagle?
Not too bad, all things considered. Just
cruising along.
Yeah.
Check out this cardinal. I bet you've seen that on X, where it's flying straight to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We have a lot of red really cardinals down here. I really like them. I kind of prefer the females because they're kind of barn, sort of a brownish red.
The females are gray with bits of the red mixed into some certain spots, and it kind of creates this almost multiphasic color.
Hey Rex, bring up that cardinal again. Let's see if the eyes are split like the Superman trailer, where the guy's looking, to the past and the future.
Bring up what?
Bring up that cardinal flying towards the camera. It kind of reminded me of the new Superman trailer where he's flying towards the camera.
Oh yeah.
And his eyes are like bloop. Let's see if the cardinal has bloop eyes too. It's a joke. I'm making a joke. It's a bad, terrible joke. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But
what's amazing to me is he tells them anyway, knowing they're going to flop. It's amazing. It's like compelled that say this. I know it won't be received well, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Well, and I have a tendency not to actually.
Now he's not laughing. Anyways. He's like, "Why are you picking on me?
Why does this always happen to me? Da-da. Sorry, I'm terrible.
He may not have finished the drawing, but I can show you how much he's got done on it. It's looking really cool. Let's see if I can get one with just it. There we go.
I remember when I used to get praises for Bog.
When was that? When
Man.
did that ever happen?
That never happened. Only in my dreams, buddy.
Yeah.
Only in my dreams.
It's interesting just to see, you know, other people draw your characters and their interpretation. You know, it's really
Absolutely, absolutely.
cool, you know, in their style.
I think out of all the drawings I did, one of my favorites is still this ballpoint pen speed drawing of Jessica Rabbit,
Ooh.
which I think is in this stack up here, actually. If I don't knock everything down like a dumbass. Don't tick while you're moving shit, bitch.
Take your time. Take your time. No rush.
No rush. It's all about the base, No trouble.
No,
Look up.
no trouble.
Oh, yeah.
See, guys?
Ooh la la, ooh la
And that,
la.
if you look close, is just a speed drawing of ballpoint pens.
You looked in the mirror to do that.
Boing.
Swing.
Actually, I just literally looked at one of my favorite drawings somebody had done of her and tried to mimic the style, but did a ballpoint pen.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Very nice.
I think I do some decent work on occasion. It's like I still have to colorize them, but I've been making like little pin-up bookmarks that are just like the nitty-gritty of it to the bookmarks here.
Yeah, Mr. J, that looks
Fun
great.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Bodies. I mean, I don't know why I'm so interested in drawing pinups when I am so literally not at all interested in female bodies. It's a
Well,
weird
check out
dichotomy in my
the
head.
latest that's going to be put in my book, Eagle, by Jay Kreger here. We have Midnight,
Nice.
some of her roustabouts. So that's Shadowhawk in the bottom left-hand side there with this little Western Clint Eastwood hat on. We got Crooked Painter up there in the upper right and Lack in the bottom. And there's the Appaloosa. We've finally got an animal in there.
I
in my
really
book.
hope you do the native stuff right. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get on your case.
Well, the dream catchers don't look that bad, do they?
No, I was referring to all the cultural stuff.
Yeah. Well, I probably won't do anything with the. I do have one character that was originally going to be from the deepest, darkest part of Africa, a character I call Totem. I kind of like to call him my tribal guy, but I think I'm going to make him from the Hopi Indians tribe.
Is it going to be
Have
called He Who
similar
Walks a Lot?
Petroglyphs.
You could always
of-
work in some crazy native chick with giant boobs and eagle wings.
Ooh. She Who Bounces a Lot. Jiggle, jiggle.
Yes,
lady.
she who bounces a lot.
I swear.
Well, if I was going to draw it, I would have to have a live model to go for him just to make sure I got the anatomy right. Just saying.
Agreed.
And she'd have to have a boob
agreed.
window like you're wearing now for, or like Power Girl. You know, Power Girl had a boob window.
Right.
We were looking
I
at
have
Power
dresses
Girl.
with way worse boob windows
Early.
than this. I've got a cheetah print one that literally the boob window goes to here on each side.
Well, you must have known that you were coming on today and withheld the goods. So, we'll forgive you
Literally
this time.
didn't know I was doing anything until I clicked and saw you on and went, yeah, I haven't picked on him in a while.
Well, yeah, you could pick on me tomorrow and wear that, and you could pick on me tomorrow. Carrie says very subtle, Eagle Rider, very subtle,
I know, right?
or supple, as some people say. How do they get
I'm
up
sure.
here?
I'm sure nobody could tell what I was hinting
Hey,
at,
Elsa.
right?
Walter Danley in the house, Mr. LZ.
What's up, LZ? L to the Z. My homie from the West Side.
So, Omer,
What up,
what do you
West?
think about putting Abby in the book? You know, maybe make her. I don't know if I want to saddle.
Ooh.
And no play on words there, but saddle Midnight with a dog that runs with her, or because that's another
Yeah,
thing.
that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea. I just watched that movie Prey again last week, and that's the one like a predator pre-predator movie. And they were Native Americans, and she had a dog.
I mean,
and it was really
Kinda.
cool.
Walter says Eagle Rider draws good.
thank you. They kind of took let me see. They took Comanche language with a Lakota actress and mixed it with Southern tribes and called it Native. So they kind of went stupid on it, but
Well, you'll be one of the
Yeah.
people that I confer with for sure if I do anything with the tribe. Right now, I think I can do
Cheetah.
Westerns without having an Indian attack ever. Every other issue.
And here's the other thing: if you do the Western stuff and you have any reference to Indians, just as long as you don't freaking call medicine men shaman or elders of the tribe shaman, then you're good. Oh dear God!
Well, where does shaman come into it?
They
though?
don't. They're They're mysticism. They're Eastern. They're literally an Asian religion that's completely separate.
So, what would you call the
Medicine men and elders, literally, in whichever
Okay.
tribal tongue that you're referring to.
They call me Kimosabi.
Yes, Kola.
She can curse you out in multiple languages. You better be careful.
No, Scheiße und Spitz.
I can also bless
Now-
you and bet you a stay. One can get you in.
Can you can also what? Bless me? Oh, thank you.
It is a Lakota greeting. I just said it just means I bid you good day. May the Great Spirit bless you.
Shalom.
Wow, here is a Neil Adams
I love
war
it.
book
That's
that
awesome.
I did not know was out there. Very cool. One of the dollar books. GI Combat, Neil Adams
Ooh.
cover.
Na, na, na.
That's cool.
Pretty cool.
Na, na,
Pretty cool.
na. Na, 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 na,
Yeah,
na,
he
na.
didn't do that many war
So-
covers that I know of. That's neat. That's one I'm gonna have to look up.
So Eagle Rider, how did you learn
Add
what is
to
it?
my
You said
collection.
Lakota?
Because my dad was Lakota. I grew up in the culture. I just have a mild albinism and a white mother.
Issue 207, by the
Awesome.
way. GI Combat 207.
So yes, born and raised in the Black Hills. Spent a lot of my childhood hanging out literally at Crazy Horse Museum and Monument. So
Wow, that's cool.
The Crow was up around you, weren't they? Your area? Further north?
probably further north.
Or deep? Huh?
Yeah, probably further north.
Stephen
Wasn't there
Butler's birthday.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Elmer. I'm just going to show some.
I was going to
Stephen
ask
Butler.
you, the Black Hills. Wasn't there a big university or college in the 60s and 70s where a bunch of famous artists went to? Maybe it wasn't a big college or university. It was
A lot of the people.
like Jackson Pollock.
Oh, let me think.
I love this cover.
Jackson.
It's a great
Let
cover.
me think here. Because when I think of colleges in my home area, I think of like the School of Mines, but that's not art. So let me check something.
Yeah, usually you start up a stream, and usually you're streaming when I start my stream, Eagle. I think.
It's like
How-
I think it's this happens as of when I can. Because yeah, I think he's thinking about a different area. Because as far as I know, I thought that stuff came from like Dartmouth area and the east.
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
Now, if you go to the Black Hills, you got Sturgis first of all, which is always fun. But B, you've also got the School of Mines and Technology, which is one of the top-rated engineering colleges in the world. So, and I actually have a cousin who's actually one of their professors now. So, I mean, I've got this one on hand still.
Again,
and
looking in the
the
mirror.
sketch I created for her.
Again, looking in the mirror, very ample in the chest area.
My girls tend to have a lot of bosom on them when I draw them. I will admit that. I'm very much, definitely inspired by both myself and the animes I watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're,
You're going to
they're
have to
very
go.
busty.
Yeah. Well, you got the camera placement just right where we're just like,
Can't tell today.
unless you, well, it leaves something for the imagination. What and black is very slimming too. It looks like a brown though that you're wearing.
That's because the light's yellow.
Okay. So it is black. Okay.
Mm.
Black is very slimming.
Yeah, I'm getting a little jealous. I wish Rex talked to me that way.
Rex is a shameless flirt anytime he talks to me.
You bring out the best in me, Eagle.
You make him rise to the occasion. Too funny.
I just hyper focus.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I do a lot of creating stuff.
Well, I call him Sexy Rexy for a reason because he's suave.
You can call me Rexy Sexy.
No, thank you.
Sexy Rexy or Rexy Sexy. I was talking to Homer, but you can call me anytime.
Crazy.
Big Daddy.
You can call me crazy,
Call him
sure.
Big Daddy.
Hey,
You can call me Ray, or you can call me Jay, or you can call me Sonny, or you can call me Rainey, but you doesn't have to call me Johnson.
That's one of the fun things with it is when you make and sell stuff or you make a lot of things for people, you spend most of your year making stuff for only a couple holidays. Everything I make goes away very quickly.
I know you gave away a lot of stuff during Christmas. You made Christmas gifts, which is really
Normally,
neat. I hope you had a good Christmas and a happy New Year.
That's the holiday I avoid. But Christmas was good, yes. And my birthday, my boys spoiled me, and it's not exactly the birthday where you're the most
monogram models.
Noticed.
Man, those are cheap, man. $4 plus $1.50 shipping and handling. Shoot, for $5.50 you could had a model kit, monogram model. That's cool. Battlestar Galactica Viper, or what do they call those stingray looking things?
I don't remember.
Probably says here, but the type's so small, and I'm really not that invested in it. But that's cool. That's cheap. Of course, $5 was a lot more back then than what it is today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, money's kind of tanked in value. Yeah, she got me pretty good there. Oy. I'm going to get these done. Not like that's going to be finished, mind you, because when I finish this set, I have 8 more of them to do in just this type. And then I have a box full of multiple kits behind this computer that I have to do in the next few weeks for some different events that are going on. So basically,
here, this one didn't age well, Homer. Take a look at this. My ability to distort my facial characteristics will make it easier for me to see what's going on as a Jap.
Holy cow! Wow, that's messed up.
Who knew Superman was racist? Oh well.
Well, he wasn't. Was he racist? I mean, he was trying to be Japanese.
I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. I mean,
no, domare regato misto rabato.
I'll be right back.
Anyway, keep collecting, and we'll see you tomorrow.